As we continue our 75th anniversary tribute to WGN TV, we talk with former anchor Pat Harvey.
Yeah, she worked here for 4 years in the late 1980s, and even though it was a short period of time, her work left an indelible impression on WGN and the city. She left us to go work for a television station in LA, where she continues to work to this day. I spoke with her about what makes WGN so special.
Another issue separates the Illinois delegation.
Meet my new friend Bowie. Say hi to Chicago, Bowie.
Today's game was the first for many young Cub fans, including 3-month-old Sarah here. A postal worker made contact with Kimlon while walking her route in a suburb outside of Detroit.
Talk about some of your fondest memories of working at WGN.
Tom Skilling, oh, he's still my heart. But so many other people behind the scenes that just made it a very welcoming place to be. I mean, they welcomed me with open arms. I had my only child not long after I start working, in fact, at WGN. So I always felt like it was a family atmosphere. I just thought it was one of the best group of journalists in the country, bar none. It was just some work that I am still very, very proud of to this day.
You changed the landscape for women when it came to pap smears because of an investigation you did.
We came across this story about women dying at an unprecedented rate because their pap smears, they had cancer cells that were going undetected. And enough of this was happening that you had a number of deaths across the country. And we found out the reason being is labs, these kinds of cytology labs were not regulated. So you get paid by the slide. And naturally, if you're a worker, you're going to want to make more money. A lot of the owners at these labs, they want to make more money as well. So the more slides you read, the more money you make. But guess what? More mistakes are made. Mm-hmm. We looked into it, and as a result of our report that aired in Chicago on WGN, we went to the Capitol to talk about this in not only Washington, D.C., but also testified at the state capitol in Springfield. And as a result of this, Governor Thompson came in on the air and actually signed a bill into law regulating cytology labs throughout the state of Illinois. The lab in Tarzana was shut down as a result of our report. So that makes me very, very proud to this day that I can actually say that as a journalist, I really did something to save women's lives.
If I'm not mistaken, you were the first Black female anchor here at WGN.
I heard that.
Do you ever think about that?
You know, I probably didn't. If I did, I don't know if I, gave it much weight, because at the end of the day, I knew what I was there to do, and I really believed in the work that we did. I wanted to do it well, obviously, because I will say, I mean, I know I was maybe one of the first pregnant anchors. I think that may have happened. So that I realized that there were a number of firsts, so to speak, or things that were different or groundbreaking in a way. But I just thought about that as a way of saying, well, I have to do my job and be good at what I do, just like the guys.
You were such an example for little girls like me, so I thank you for that.
I'm so happy to hear you say that, Tanya. I'm not trying to sugarcoat things and say I can always talk about my brain and how it worked in terms of what I had to do, that I didn't think about what other people thought. I thought, well, if you got a problem with racism, with the color of my skin and who I am, then that's your problem. I'm not going to make that my problem.
So many firsts, so many groundbreaking investigations, so much change, so much happiness. Why did you leave us?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't because I didn't love Chicago or WGN, but I said, well, this is an opportunity, and they were very interested. They sold it. And I've been here for 33 years now, but it's not. But Chicago is still one of my favorite cities. There's no question about that. And I will never forget my days at WGN. And I'm going to say this, I really think that the experience that I had at WGN just catapulted me to do what I needed to do in Los Angeles. And I also feel very proud about that, because I'm telling you, you work in Chicago, You're standing on some big shoulders, but you also, you really learn and you grow because you have to be competent. I always joke about how in Los Angeles, you got the world of entertainment.
Sure.
You got real drama. But I said, but in Chicago, we had the city council. My peeps in Chicago, I still love you, and I think about my experiences there daily. And of course, some of my good friends that are still there. Micah, we talk occasionally. We share the same birthday, or close to it. Yeah, so I still have some very, very fond memories of the people that work. Robert, Jordan, I can go on and on. Dan Roan, hey Dan, I heard you just retired.
Yeah.
So it's been, I'm glad that you thought about me, and just know that I still think about everyone on a daily basis because you meant a lot. You meant a lot to me.
And she is still going strong out there in LA. She just signed another contract. So 33 years, she just signed another contract, and she is still going strong.
She's still killing it. It's just that's such a good pathway for so many women. Just women in general too.
Period. Yeah.
That's awesome.
WGN.
Yeah.
Chicago's very own.
Chicago's very own.